welcome Kelly, Mann,
Hello.
to the podcast. What's happening? How are you?
I'm pretty good, mate. I am pretty good.
Sick.
Just ticking
Now, I
along
think
at the moment.
normally this is a great opportunity to introduce who you are and what you do, but I'd like to say if people don't know who you are and they don't know what you do, they're probably living under a rock or have nothing to do with powerlifting
Powerlifting, yeah.
itself, which is also, I'd like to think there's an audience within my audience that isn't specific to powerlifting. So, mate,
Yep.
who are you?
Fixing
What
my
do you
hair at
do?
the moment. I am Kelly Mann. I am the director and owner of Performotion Rehab and Performance. We've been around for about since 2018 now. We have a bunch of exercise physiologists, nutrition coaches, and online powerlifting coaches that work for us. Myself personally, I am only doing online coaching now and running the business. So that's what I do. And yeah, that's pretty much started at Valhalla, and now we're in our own facility just up the road from you.
You have a huge facility.
Yeah,
Not just a little one, mate.
Sorry, mate?
Not just a little one. Every time I go to the IGA across the road, I look in and go, damn.
Yeah, I know.
And then I go, man, that's a lot of rent.
Well, it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Yep.
We do have a good deal.
Yep.
You know, with all buildings though, that has its issues. But yeah, it's doing quite well for now. That's all I'll say about that.
I mean, but you guys are a machine. Of 2018 Valhalla, I've known you since then. My first question, I always think of this as a fun one for anyone who's coached or helped people in the game, and that is, do you remember your first ever client, what year that was, where you were, and what they were doing?
Are you talking about my first ever powerlifting client?
Just any client, any person you helped with a barbell.
I think my first clients were all family members, to be honest. That's how I started. Started in my garage. I had a home gym there where I was coaching my clients. I coached them for free for my family. Sorry, I coached them for free for a very long time.
Yep, like it.
And that was, so I kind of made my networks there. And this is back like PT World, PT first. Made my networks through my family.
Yep.
Started running group sessions, the old boot camps. Yeah, mate, I did boot camps. I was running boot camps on Kangaroo Point stairs in like 2015.
Oh, mate, you, in my opinion, because I've cut my teeth in group fitness as well, is you are not a PT or a coach or whatever you want to call yourself unless you've done some hard yards with some group fitness in a park somewhere.
It is really, I get, when I say that, that's how I started, like literally people's jaws drop. And that's like, you know, like I remember I used to have a small group of women outside in my backyard all paying me $10 each for a 45-minute kettlebell session.
Yep. Love it.
And I think it is because the industry's changed a lot, and I don't think that younger coaches realize how much what the hard yards actually look like.
Mm-hmm. And I think they miss out on some learnings from that stuff, right?
100%. Like, I was like, I remember my last year of uni, I was doing full-time uni and running 40 sessions face-to-face, and I'd get up at 5 a.m. and do a couple of sessions, go to uni, and then go back and be back from, 3 or 4 till 9 o'clock at night every day. And, if I was asked to do it now, I would absolutely die. I wouldn't do it, because I just can't. I physically can't. But it definitely taught me. It definitely taught me how to make connections. It taught me how to retain people, and it taught me the value of what face-to-face work offers. With gaining traction in the industry. Although since then the industry's changed a lot.
Absolutely, far less running around the park. Did you do boxing?
Mate. Yeah, boxing. I used to run strength sessions and then finish off with the cardio at the end. And then I can remember my first ever powerlifting client is actually still one of my clients right now.
Yep.
So shout out to Anthony. I met him in 2015 when I was working at Panthers, and I still coach him today.
That's so cool.
I love that.
And that's a testament for a good coach, I think. PT, if you started in 15 and that person is still with you now, you've evolved as a human in how you coach, what you coach, etc. Gym ownership, how you do it. They've evolved as a human. They're still with you. That's credit for you.
Thanks, man.
That shows how good you are. And I think I see that. I mean, I've been around a bit longer than 15. So the coaches I know that have done that same sort of time, they're still here, but they've also still got those people. So I think that's one of the reasons they're still here, is because maybe they're good at it and they get it a bit more than just the barbells or whatever the thing is. It's a human you're trying to look after.
Well, that's right. At the end of the day, you're providing a service, right? So your service needs to evolve and improve. And if it's not evolving and improving, and you're not doing the growth that you need to as a human to make that happen, then it's, you're not going to retain clients.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I look at that group fitness as like your apprenticeship, right?
Yeah, exactly. And, everyone's got to start somewhere, and at the end of the day, powerlifting is like its own specialized sport, but you're still dealing with humans. So if you don't know how to actually have a conversation or work through hard times with people, you're going to struggle, because, at the end of the day, that there's only a select number of powerlifters that are at that level where, you can just, be robots, but the rest of them are people and they have issues, and it's just important that we treat them that way.
Absolutely. Did you, back in 15, think that this is where it would be now? Like, I heard from David when I had him on, you had a staff of 14, maybe more.
Yeah. No.
I commended you there, and I was like, man, that's incredible. Like, trying to think about the gyms I know of that have that kind of staff on it.
No, I think through the times of working hard, as I said, the industry's changed a lot. I think, I don't want to say I got lucky, because it's not about luck, but I think I just had the ability to move with what the market was doing. So, before COVID, and a lot of the growth happened, because either I got to the point where I couldn't keep up, or Tom got to the point where he couldn't keep up. So we needed more employees and people to help. That's basically where it was. And there was a lot of mistakes made along the way. A lot, in terms of not hiring the right people, or, issues that we see in gyms regularly. But it's all about, just continuing doing what you want to do with consistency. Like, I resisted opening my own facility for a very, very long time. I think I did that on purpose because of how much the cost would be. So we were very lucky that in terms of exercise physiology, because we were doing exercise physiology before we went right into the powerlifting, that no one really was doing the same type of work we were doing. And there was a hole in the market at that time with people who weren't rehabbing strength athletes. So I think that was being in the right place at the right time really helped. Now it's very, very easy to find someone who can help, that is specializes in strength athletes, especially online. So I think, the whole market itself has evolved in a big way. And I think I was just lucky enough to be one of the first ones that was doing something a little bit different.
But I got a saying, luck's created through hard work. We don't
I know.
Work hard and we get it. It just happens.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't know if it's luck, but it is hard work. I think COVID actually, even though it really fucked a lot of us over, it was actually a great thing for my business, because it opened up the door for online coaching in a time where powerlifting really took off, because people were stuck in their garages. And then at a time where social media and powerlifting really took off on social media. So, I think we just diverted to online coaching in powerlifting at a really good time. And then focusing on consistency with results has always been the key.
Did you have any resistance for yourself wanting to go into online?
I did, yeah. So when COVID hit, we flipped to doing a lot of Zoom sessions with our clients, and then at that time I was an EP and I was doing Zoom sessions, and I don't. You probably noticed in 2019, 20, 21, I was posting on social media so much just to keep everything going, because social media, around that time really shot up. A few of the bigger name athletes were reaching out to us at the time for rehab stuff, and then that got around on social media, and that's just really helped pop up the whole industry for us, but the resistance from me came that I was doing EP, and then I had my client base grew with powerlifting clients, and then I was like, they were all face to face, but I was just completely burnt out from running the business, doing so many face to face sessions, and I was like, something needs to change. And Tom was actually doing more online coaching than me at that time, but I didn't want to go into the online coaching until I knew that we would still generate enough work face to face, because I was the main driver of it, and also until I felt technically sound enough in my communication skills and also my ability to communicate with someone online, and my ability to fix issues with technique and stuff like that online. So I spent a fair bit of time doing the Zoom sessions until I transferred over a little bit online. Then we found that the EPs doing online coaching and rehab at the same time was just too messy, because we couldn't get the results we wanted to. And I was able to self-reflect enough and think that I was pretty good at both, but I needed to be really good at one. And at that time, Stephen Day had joined us, and he's online. He'd been online coaching for a long while, and he opened my eyes up to a lot of different types of programming. And me, with my hyperfixation ADHD, was like, I need to get really good at online programming. So I decided, and a lot of it was a business move from my point too, because I just couldn't keep doing as much face to face as I was, and keep up with running the business. I just couldn't.
Like, you sleep less. I mean, you could just sleep less.
Well, that was the problem, and I felt like dog shit. A nice person when I don't sleep enough, mate.
Any more than 3 hours, you're being greedy, Kelly.
That's only because you got kids, man. So yeah, so like I was like, it actually wasn't even, it was in 2022 that I started flipping myself over and flipping clients over to online coaching. And I think that year was one of the hardest years of working for me, because I was just doing so many different things at once. And online coaching and delivering face-to-face sessions is a completely different ballgame. So I found it really hard to go between both. I know a lot of coaches still do that, but I personally find it quite difficult to go between different things. I like to focus on one thing. So I was really run down that year. And then by 2023, I just was like, I'm flipping everyone over. I flipped everyone over, and then I had to learn how to be an online coach, because it is a completely different ball game.
Yeah, it's a different machine, isn't it?
Yes, yes. It's okay if you've got like 20, but if you're getting up to like 50 or 60, it is a full-time gig. So it's about having systems in place. It's about having boundaries in place, and it's about understanding what works for you with your own communication. And I think it's really helped me to learn how to communicate with different people, because when you're doing face-to-face sessions, it's a lot of general talk. And then, you know, it's, I'll do this. But with online, it's like you have to explain why, because you don't have that rapport built with someone so they can see your body language. And I really struggled with that. I really struggled. And my retention rate in 2023, end of 2022, 2023 was tough because I struggled with expressing myself through text. And it's something that I've really worked on with my own personal systems.
Yeah, it's tricky. Text is tricky.
Oh, I know, mate. I know. Yeah.
I also dyslexic, self-diagnosed, skip and beat words, get too excited and ramble about crap. I read back my messages that I've written through to someone, and at the time I'm like, man, this is gold. I'm giving gold. And you look at it, I'm like,
yeah, I know.
Saying to this person.
I know. So for me, for me, it's about systems and platforms and making sure that I'm in a good headspace before I start giving feedback. So I only really give feedback on my computer while I'm at work. I'll do a little bit on my phone at home, but my phone is basically a no-go for feedback these days because I just find, you know, if you know me personally, I'm very direct. That can get a bit mixed on text. So, but I find if I'm at my computer responding, then I'm a little bit better.
Yep. I mean, that's a testament. You know, just the early conversation. The whole thing is you learning and adapting and overcoming.
Yeah.
Super rad. There's something I think about online coaching, and I was chatting to a client about it today. I think we're at the edge of it because at the moment, most people we're looking after, I see for myself, are just, you know, general powerlifters or people who want to powerlift, varying levels of whatever they want to do it. And they get it. They know it works.
Yeah.
In the industry, it happens.
Yeah.
We get out to general population, yet they don't know it works yet.
Yeah.
But once they work it out, it's going to go bananas.
There is a lot of there's a lot of like different training apps available now, and I think I definitely agree with you that I think, you know, in the next 5 to 10 years, I'm not sure how much face-to-face PT will be around. Like some people some people will really keep going with it. Like myself, I see a PT 3 times a week because I look at sheets all day. I don't want to look at another one. So there is going to be still a market, but I think you're right. The general population's training styles and people know a lot more about training now, and it's much easier to sign up to a platform where you get videos and things delivered to you to be able to do it.
Yeah. See, I look at a few of mine general pop guys that my powerlifting guys have sold it to them literally, like, you need to see Jonny, trust him. Work, all right. Perth, just do a month. Trust him, work. And like, they push him in, and then they're in, and they're a year in, and they're like, I can't think of any other way I'd want to train.
No, exactly.
And I know we're at the start of that, and there with the app, no doubt AI and all the other cool shit that'll actually make it, you know, I get it, general pop, don't want to read a sheet. They'll get to zoom in and out and whatnot, but you said you still use it. I love it. I think it's great for writing a program, that thing. But once all that changes, general population are going to blow up. I think for the accessibility, the affordability that comes with it, and you mean anyone else that's good at this space knows that you can actually affect a positive change. The only thing you're not doing there is being there to catch the bar if they drop it. But if we're intelligent enough, we're not putting them in a situation where they would anyway.
Oh, I still use sheets to deliver my programs, but I can't write one for myself or go through sheets to look at a program when I'm not at work. Like I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
I think that's why I have glasses now.
So you can see sheets.
Just due to my eyes being smashed from staring at this bloody little rectangle.
Oh, I'll tell you what, mate, 100%. That's another thing. Like in 2022, like my screen time was up so high. I was like 8 to 10 hours a day, and now screen time's like 4 hours a day because I just can't be on my phone that much anymore. I
got a new trick because this is the machine. I just leave it here, like right here.
I
leave the house. And that's how I manage it. So
Yeah.
and I'm getting better at it. But if it's family time, I was out with the daughter this week. This stayed here.
Yeah, good.
And a watch that has a phone on it was on my wrist in case, I'm a hypochondriac father, in case something happened and I needed to ring something. I had that there. But yeah, I think leaving it there is a great way to deal with that.
Yeah, I agree. Do not disturb is a great function.
I mean, it's all I use.
Yeah.
That's it. No, oh, Jonny, you're always on the phone. I was like, yeah, man, real busy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So with 2015 to now in powerlifting, you've also been, this is a golden time for barbells, right? Like the growth itself has been humongous, locally and internationally as well. Like across, your space is predominantly IPF, the many versions that that's been in Australia. And you see that is humongous. And then you look at the non-tested invite lifting space as well is absolutely bananas. And it's exciting, right?
Yeah, very exciting. Like, I'm going to Sheffield in January, and it's actually still pretty damn surreal that I'm going to be there. It's just crazy. It's crazy, and it's it's great. It's really good. It's really good, and I think it's really good to see the sport taking off, and it's great to see that especially it feels like the sport in Australia at the moment is doing a lot better than it was a few years ago.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think recently being involved, having a lifter with APA, I'm super excited to see what's happened with the inclusion of that newer version of them. Because I never had anything to do with the other ones, but I always would occasionally kick around, call someone, ask about it, see what it's like to go and play there. And I was always just too hard, too difficult, and didn't like the sound of it. But now it's super rad. And like, as we know, the monster, right? That is the cool space. So it's cool to see that growth in Australia.
Really, really good. And it's much nicer. Like, we run APA competitions here, and it's we have had absolutely no issues at all. It's been really, really good.
Yes, that's sweet. Now, Sheffield, for those who don't know, biggest comp on the planet. How much money is up for grabs in that thing?
I have no idea. A lot. Yeah.
More than anywhere else. As a coach, do you sit and reflect on that moment? Like, oh, we got something in that. Holy cow.
That's one thing that I've only taught myself recently how to do, is reflect and actually give myself a pat on the back. I was pretty bad at it. So at the moment, it's still quite surreal because we're not there. And obviously a lot of it is determined by performance, right? So as a coach at the moment, 5 weeks out, it is like the time. So I'm just focusing on I'm just focusing on not fucking up right now, if I'm going to be completely honest. And then I think, I don't want to say, I'll only pat myself on the back if Meg does really well, because no, I won't. But we got there, and she's been performing consistently well for 3 years now to get there. So that is an achievement in itself. And then me being me though, with my personality, I'm like, if we all or nothing, going there to win. But I do think it's important that I sit back and reflect that this is actually the 24 strongest people in the world. I think it's 24.
And you've got a horse in the race.
I think it's 24. Maybe it's, I don't know. I can't remember. 16. I don't know. And I got a horse in the race. So giving myself a pat on the back for that is really important. But at the moment, I'm just shitting myself, to be honest.
Do you what I'll do is I'll have a tendency to like triple read something that I've said or decided to do for that week.
Oh, I've got a team of people around me who are all helping at the moment, mate. I have had Steve, I have Danny, I have Tom seeing Meg every week, I have Chris. We are all looking at that program weekly. We are. It's not just me. If it was just me, fuck. It is definitely a team effort. Because if you get if you're the only one that's looking at someone's program for a very long time, you do get stuck in the weeds. You do, because you get your own biases and you can't see outside your own box. So one thing that we do here a lot is collaborate with people's programs and rehab, just to make sure that we're all, that we're not getting stuck in our own bubble. So doing PD outside, like I'm doing the TSG mentorship at the moment. And so Sam and David, and then, other coaches are doing different types of mentorships. The EPs are always doing their PD and stuff. And it really helps to bring more to the table. So I'm all for that collaboration.
Yeah. That's a really cool, unique thing that you have there with so many coaches, so many disciplines, being able to see, being able to sit. David said there's a moment where you guys have a PD session a week or something like that.
Yeah.
That collaborative coaching approach is so good.
Yeah, it is good. It's really good because, problems when you're dealing with athletes who as I said before, there is a big generation now in people that take powerlifting very seriously, and it is their sport. So you are bound to run into issues, even if it's could be injury, could be plateaus, could be mindset, could be anything, right? And relationships between two people, like in general, they can get, they can go through ebbs and flows. So to have other people around who I'm continually learning off is something that I really value, and that's why we continue to do PD and continue to learn. Like, I've really enjoyed doing this TSG mentorship because it's opened my eyes up to a different style of programming, and I think it's been really good because it relights my fire with programming. And because it's, if you're tired, and coaches are humans, right? If we're tired and we're burnt out and we get stuck in the weeds, it's pretty easy to just keep rinse and repeating the same thing you've already done. And with powerlifting, rinse and repeating the same thing you've already done doesn't work forever.
Not at all. How do you guys, is there any ego that needs to be checked in those meetings, or is everyone's cool about it? Like, if someone says,
everyone's cool. Yeah.
That's no good, Kelly. What are you doing?
Come
on.
I think, it's like to be able to work in a team environment, you need to be able to accept constructive criticism. So I think that our team is very good at self-reflecting and being able to accept constructive criticism from their peers. And if a coach or anyone doesn't want to bring something to the table because they're not comfortable with it, I think that that kind of gets weeded out pretty quickly with how collaborative the approaches are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's good.
So I have no problem, and I think it always comes from the top, right? I have no problem in saying I fucked up. I did, this program is terrible and I wrote it. I'm sorry, I'm going to fix it, which has happened in this Sheffield prep. Yeah. I wrote probably the worst block of training I've ever written, and I don't know what I was thinking. And I just said to Meg, I fucked up. I'm sorry. I had this grand plan in my head and it didn't go well. So I think we would probably struggle if, Steve and I weren't so collaborative. But that's something that we promote here when people want to work for us. We don't have a problem in, like, I've sent some of the athletes that I cannot get results with, I've sent them to David. Yep. Or I've gone, I'm not getting results here. I think a different coach here would be good for you based on X, Y, Z.
That's super cool. And that's that's one of the many reasons that, no doubt, the growth of your machine has come along as well. The thing that I think I find super extraordinary, because I've been around this crazy sport for so long, it's so male dominant with coaches. right?
The reason I knew you were going down this pathway.
Because I think it should be celebrated that as a female coach, lack of a better word, because there's not been many of you guys out there pioneering and showcasing what women can do and be extraordinary as a coach as well. Personally, I look forward to seeing more and more women coaching in this space and breaking down whatever silly thoughts there are by other people that, oh, no, a girl can't go do that. There's plenty of people that can backspot. It's the incredibly intelligent brain that's up there and the ability to get the best out of you. That's what's important, not whether or not they can spot you safely. And also, if there's someone else, you can spot them safely anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, I think I won't lie. I did struggle at the start, in terms of receiving respect. But I'm not someone that really cares about that.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't bother me. So I think there's been some good key changes in the industry as a whole, which has made powerlifting more accessible to females.
Yep.
There is still a pretty low rate of female powerlifting coaches internationally. That's for sure. There is
female powerlifters.
Yeah. I often do get females who reach out to me that want to be coached by a female. I think sometimes it's hard in society, right? So just the way that males and females are made up. Females, we tend to criticize ourselves a little bit more, or have a little bit more issues with self-confidence and things like that. And I definitely went through a lot of those times.
Yep.
But I think it's improving as a whole. And I think that, I think that, like, in general, especially in the IPF, the women is just as strong as the men. And and the women are improving and putting more on their totals just as strong as the men. I think the coaching space in general is a little bit slow with females, but I think females just need to get out there and just don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks about you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think anyone who thinks negative needs to also fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. But people are always going to throw shade at each other. That's what they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people...
Particularly, no doubt, people that are successful like yourself.
Oh, yeah. And it'll continue to happen, but it's okay. Like, it used to bother me a lot, but now I'm just doing what I do. I'm just staying in my own lane. Results speak, mate.
Absolutely. And another thing, obviously, female business owner as well, with extraordinary. Like, I mean, how many clients would you look after as a team? How many would be going through that place? From the whole lot. Must be lots.
It's about in the region of about 600 a week. We're at 600-700 a week at the moment. So that's internationally as well. And I'm not tooting my own horn here. You asked me a direct question, so I'm giving you a direct answer. Thank you. And like I said, with any business, there's ebbs and flows. And I think, as I said to one of my coaches this morning, it's just consistency is key.
Yeah, 100%. You've just got to keep getting up every single morning. And no doubt you love this thing, right? I know for me, someone said to me, I just got back from 4 weeks of like alleged holidays, like 2 of those weeks for a world's trip. The other 2 weeks I was on holidays, but still online coaching and managing everyone while I was away. And I landed on Thursday, I woke up, ran a comp on the Saturday. And I was like, I need some time off. I was like, I only need time off from things I don't enjoy.
Yeah, look, I have a love-hate relationship with it, but I tend to hate it if I'm not looking after myself personally. Yep. So if I'm not doing the things I know I need to do to make sure that I have enough recovery, that I'm getting enough time out, that I'm not on my phone as much as I should be. If I get all those things right, I love it. And I I'm lucky enough that I've got a big enough team that I don't have to do everything myself. And I'm lucky enough that I have created that because I went through many, many years of having to do a lot of it. And that's when I was really not enjoying it. Like, I'm not good at admin. I hate doing what I'm not good at. And I'm actually quite poor at that type of stuff. So, like, it's about, for me, it was like figuring out, okay, like what I'm good at and what I want to focus on, and then getting the right people around me to focus on the things I can't. That keeps me enjoying it.
Yeah.
If I was still working on the floor, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., like I was doing at Valhalla for a very long time, I would have quit a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's just, for me, yeah, I do. I love it. And like, even doing things like this TSG mentorship, and then as well, it's like being able to coach at Worlds. I've been given that opportunity when the year before I was not allowed to. That really re-sparked me into, loving the sport and loving the people in the sport that I get to help. So yeah, I think I used to think that if I was hating what I was doing, that I needed to quit. Now I know that is the ebbs and flows of owning a business. I'm not meant to enjoy it all the time. It is very hard. It's very draining. And no, I don't get days off either, but I care enough to continue to do it. And then I just know that I need to look after myself outside to make sure that I can be the best version of myself when I'm in this building.
What do you do for downtime?
Well, I just finished Mario Odyssey on Switch, which is a fucking gaming. I couldn't game for years because I was too burnt out from screen time and people, and now I'm sweet. So I'm gaming.
Nice.
I like to get steps in. I have a rule that I feel the best when I'm around 15,000 steps a day. So steps are a big one for me. Then hikes, beach time, sun, dog walks, all that stuff. Yeah. Beers. Love a beer.
Nice.
Yeah, all that type of stuff.
I have to send you one of our beers. We got a Fortitude Barbell beer now.
Oh, you're brewing.
Yeah.
Let's go. How good.
It's delicious. It's a mid lager. It's called FB.
Oh, nice. I'll pop down the hill for one.
We had it. Yeah, we had it on tap at the deadlift comp.
How good. Good. It's a cheaper way to do it now, mate. I paid $15 for a pint down the QA the other night.
We definitely believe it. That. We'll hook you up with neighbour rates on that.
All right, sounds good.
They're in bottles soon. We'll have them in a carton sometime in January. It's mind blowing. One of the many things I consider I definitely didn't plan on doing 15 years ago. That's for sure. But definitely a big turn of subject. But something I asked David about, and something I'm very curious about and close to my heart and what I think about is the IPF is obviously a machine, but on a world stage, Australia has opportunity, I think. Like, how do we see more Australians or Australians on podiums at an open level? What are we not doing, or what don't we have?
So, because my client base is largely populated with Americans, I see the difference in the way that they view their sport, because they grew up playing sport and it's very well endorsed there. I think those other countries, like one of my clients from Iceland, the federation pays for him to go and get, they all get free gear and stuff like that. So a big barrier here is the cost to go international. I think that, and I think, the cost is, it's difficult. And I think that's one of a big driver. I think Australia in general is very young with powerlifting in comparison to other countries as well. And when I'm saying young, I mean in coaching ability and also the way that the sport is viewed. My American clients in general, they are machines. Like it's a part of their day. Whereas I think our lifestyle over here is a little bit more taxing in terms of working hours and in terms of accessibility too, as well. And I think that really does play a part. I think it's getting better in general as people's mindset shifts. I think our culture is just a little bit more geared, toward stressful working conditions, poor recoveries, and things like that. But I'd say on a world stage, like the juniors are coming up quite well. I think it's just how long we've been in the sport with good quality with a good quality federation behind us. I know a lot of some athletes didn't want to go to IPF due to past experiences, and I think that did fracture what we had to offer for a long while.
Yeah, I guess that's a big part of the problem because in my time I've seen 3 different APAs, the third version, PA, APU, APA. Like having that change has definitely got to provided some big challenges for a potential open athlete, or if you're a junior athlete and you're, oh man, there's fucking another fit. I'm out.
Yeah, exactly. I think, but when it comes down to it, a lot of it is cost.
Yep.
It's just really expensive to go to Europe every year.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Hopefully New Zealand gets it in 2026.
That would be cool.
Yeah. But look at the Kiwis, man. They're producing some really, 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 really strong people. So it's doable.
We need to be that strong.
Yeah, it's doable. It's just, it's doable. I think culture will shift.
Do you think they're training differently? Like, do you see what other international coaches are doing? Have they got some secret recipe that we don't have? Like they're doing 3s when we're doing 5s, and we should have been doing 3s. Is that what it is?
Nah, man. Nah. I just think it would be a cultural thing.
Yeah.
I think, and also a mindset thing. Like I've look at Carlina, she's a doctor. I've had chats with her on her training before as well, and just when it prioritizes the time. Like I think, I don't think that also, like as I said before, Australia is quite young with powerlifting, and people, because of the training styles, even 5 years ago, a lot of people were getting injured and leaving.
Yeah, true that. And there wasn't any good EPs floating around to help us yet either.
No, so it's like that, whereas it also comes down to a population thing. Like I can't comment on that because I can't say that for the Kiwis, but I can definitely say that for the Americans. Like if you're a football player and you try to go to the NFL and, I think that's what happened with Perkins. And then he was like, oh, no, I'm going to be a powerlifter. And look at him, he's a freak.
Yeah. And they obviously the States have a really good strength culture through S&C for varying sports that kids are good at a kid level, but then when they get to the older level, they probably maybe work out they're not good enough for that thing, but hang on, I'm still pretty good with the barbell, so then they can pull across.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of that through the school system here.
Yeah, no, that's right. There's none.
At some top tier private school.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. And I also think that I think other cultures don't view it as much as a hobby as what some other cultures do. Like, I think in Australia, sport in general is really ingrained in our heads that it's a hobby. And anyone who's not treating it as a hobby is a bit weird. So it's like, well, I'm not getting paid, why should I try? Type attitude. I don't like. I live in my own little bubble of athletes that I coach, and I attract athletes who want to be really good at the sport. So I can only say what I've experienced, but I don't really see that in international athletes at all. Like, even though it's a hobby, it's still like their number one.
Yeah. Do you see these international athletes starting to attract some money for themselves? Obviously not a lot, but enough to go towards some things to make things.
So Agata only lifts now. I think if you're young enough and been in the sport long enough, you can. But the two words there are young enough. She's 22, and long enough. She's been around for like 10 years, like 8 years already. So, I think it's also about like why the athlete wants to do what they want to do, like, and whether or not that they want to be paid. Like, Meg transferred over to the IPF, and I think it was the 2023 US APL Pro Series. A total she would have won. She would have collected like 40 grand American. So I think but the IPF was more enticing for her. But it'd be good to see her get some money in her pocket for after Sheffield, if depending on performance, depending on how much I shit myself. But we'll see.
Paid.
Yeah, no, I think there is an opportunity there. I think it is continuing to grow. Like it's pretty normal for a local comp to have prize money these days. You can't live off it, but it's something.
Yeah.
So the way that the federation's going, like if they keep promoting that type of stuff and the gyms keep making money out of the sport, the gyms will put more money into the sport. Like Perf Cup, I like the first Perf Cup, I made nothing out of it because I just put it all back into the lifters and the athletes. So I think that's important.
People make money on Cup. Hang on a minute. What are they fucking doing? What a stitch up this is. This is bullshit. We spend it.
Yeah, I know.
What fireworks?
But yeah, I think it'll change. I don't know if the current guys circling around the top end will be able to make a huge living off it, but I'd see that changing in the future if the sport continues to grow with standards.
Yeah, with standards. I like that one. I like that one because it can grow.
Standards.
Depending on who's growing it and doing the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is probably one of the challenges that this amazing sport has is there is different places to play with varying levels of standards. Some are good and some are not so good.
Yeah.
But yet the number still goes on open lifter, right?
Yeah, I mean, for someone who's been around powerlifting for as long as I have been, I don't take much notice out of anything I'm outside of what I'm doing, to be honest.
It is the one thing that drives me bonkers because I will see a good comp and it'll be some big names running around and they'll throw up some, I don't know, all-time something or some sort of record. And you watch the video and you're like, man,
you squatted 10 miles high there.
It was way high. And then all the people like, man, great squat, great squat. And then, the one person who decides to actually say something does it. And then they just get smashed. You can't tell from a camera. Well, I'm going to tell you can. I've been around enough times.
Of course you can.
I know what a fucking high squat is.
Of course you can. That's called online coaching.
Yeah. And it drives me bonkers because this thing that I love, and then it's shown internationally with our best or whatever. And that's what our best has. That.
Yeah. Got the high, mate.
I hate it.
Yeah.
But I love, and that's what I love. You hear this term thrown around. Oh, it's IPF depth.
Yeah.
Well, that's the IPF depth squat. Yeah. It's not. It's a squat. Yeah. And the rules, essentially, from all the other feds, are all pretty much worded because they copy the IPF rule book. The same.
Exactly.
You fucking Muppets have just decided your hips above your knees is in for some reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
drives me bonkers. But then you see, I mean, I feel confident when you see spaces like IPF and APA and other places driving a standard, people will notice that.
Yeah.
And whilst some other places will still exist, people will notice that too and start realizing their lift is less valued, I like to think, in that space. So they start choosing to go somewhere else and then, realize they maybe should squat lower in training as well. So do you see the growth? Do you see it coming? Is that your crystal ball for this amazing sport? Like, it's going bigger? And then how the hell do you handle that? Do you need another gym, or do you just need more online space, or do you just going to knock down the wall and take the neighbors?
I definitely do have seen the growth, that's for sure. I think there is more growth to be had. But in saying that, I also see that the market is very saturated with coaches and people who are working in the industry now. So I think you still need to be a little bit different and offer a little bit more. In terms of the actual powerlifting gym here, it's really never been the predominant driver of income for us. It's been more evolving into a space where the EPs can, like, we still have our core members who are awesome, and that, but I'm happy to keep it at the core members, and really work on growing the business in all different ways. So a push next year for us will be to, we're in the middle of getting more clinical work and doing more doctors referrals and things like that to get that type of stuff and kind of branch out a little bit differently away from powerlifting. I think that kind of is a bit more of a business decision in terms of, so we're not relying on one niche market.
Can you please convince doctors that barbells are a good thing and that they should prescribe it more often?
We're trying, man. We're trying. Yeah, we're trying. But yeah, I think, as I said before, we have been in a position where we were one of the first with online in Australia. So we have seen growth. I think a lot of the growth is actually occurring outside of Australia as well, just because of accessibility. So I think it is going to continue to grow. I think with the standard of coaching really improving across the world, I think it's going to bring more people to the sport in general. So yeah, I totally agree with you. The sport will continue to grow. I think now with APA, the thing that's really good is there are so many competitions, and that's what had been missing in Australia for so long. People were going to different federations because they could not find a comp that was IPF. There just wasn't any run. Especially in Queensland because everyone boycotted them. So, oh, well, I got kicked out.
Hey, I've been kicked out of a fed too before.
So I think that will help growth in general. And then I think with, hopefully Worlds comes over this side of the world. I think that will really, really help as well. Yeah. Because at the moment it's just insanely expensive to go overseas for us, and it's not something that I can personally do more than once a year. And then that lets down teams as well because the coaching teams can't afford to go. So anyway, long-winded answer. Yes, I see the same thing as you do.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited to see the growth of this thing. I think it's huge. I do agree there is a bit of what I would consider a purple patch in the space of online coaching because literally there's zero oversight. Anyone can change their Instagram handle to online coach. If they've got a good camera with good video editing skills, and can lift something or look good whilst doing it and write something half intelligent, they all of a sudden can become an online coach.
Yeah, and I think, I saw that happening a couple of years ago because they're of the boom. And I think I speak to colleagues in the industry a bit about it sometimes too. And there is pros and cons to working in teams and also working alone, obviously. I think there is a big advantage in strength in numbers with a team of people working with you for results in general. I don't know. I think the same thing happened with bodybuilding, right? When bodybuilding kind of shot up, everyone was a bodybuilding coach,
and
and
most of
now,
them hadn't even bodybuilded before.
yeah,
They hadn't
and,
been on stage. They forgot the
and,
part of the bodybuilding.
yeah, and now it's fizzled out, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Same
Because
thing will
everyone gets
happen.
found out eventually, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know.
I think it won't be a thing of being found out here. I think it'll be a thing of being able to pay bills.
Mm.
So I think that powerlifting's not a hard sport to, if you're good at pattern recognition,
Yep.
and like, because that's what programming is, right? It's pattern recognition. And if you're also good at communicating, you can grow to 20, 25 clients pretty easy in online space. But getting yourself up to 50, 60 is another ball game, right? That's where the struggle will occur, and that's where working in teams can help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, that's a lot of 60 people. God
Yeah.
damn. That's a lot. How good are you fast at touch typing? You touch type quick?
I'm on WhatsApp all day, mate.
Yeah. I think one of the greatest skills I learned in high school was touch typing.
Yeah, I know. I did it too. I just scraped through because my fine motor skills are terrible. But in my initial consultation with people, I just say, look, I can't type for shit, so you're gonna have to make out what I'm saying.
You're just gonna have to work the words out. I call them Johnnyism. No doubt there's Calvinism.
Yeah, and that's why I use my phone, like, to type. I just got fat fingers, man. Like,
munching letters together and just making it crazy.
Yeah.
Mate, it's been extraordinary having you on. I think I'd very much, we got to get you on after Sheffield at some point in time. And you can give us the behind the scenes stories.
Yeah.
Your girl doing incredibly well and kicking ass over there, winning some cash.
I'm just knocking on wood. I'm doing all the superstitious shit. I'm very superstitious. So I got to wear the same shoes, the same socks. It's all got to happen the same way.
I totally agree, mate. You're talking to the guy who hasn't washed his deadlift socks ever.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I can't wash the good stuff out of it. Hell no. I mean, I get some new ones every couple of years, so they're only a couple of years old. So that's, only
we got signs on the gym walls over here. Have you washed your powerlifting equipment? Do you smell?
Yeah, it was just.
Thanks for having me on, mate.
Anytime. I leave with one question. It's the most important question out of all the questions, and that is, what are you having for lunch?
Well, rice and this stir fry thing that I made. That's what I'm having for lunch. I thought I was really good with making it, and then I realized that the sauce I put in it is packed full of sodium. So I have been feeling pretty bloated this week, but that's what I'm having for lunch.
You got to suffer through that one. Finish.
Yeah, I may ditch it and go to Subway though.
Subway works. Awesome. Yeah. All right, mate.
All right.
Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. This will come out soon.